Oh, hi there. I could be painting the Vault Dweller from the board game, but instead, I'll put it off a bit longer so I can take the time to thank Jason O for his amazing support of the channel. Jason, thank you so much for being my patron. Thanks for being such an active part of the community in Discord. We're all glad to have you. You're an awesome person, and I'm glad I've been able to get to know you a bit more. This is Flat Earth. I'm going to be painting Dogmeat's kind of dirt section of the base the same way I did the Deathclaw before. So starting out with Flat Earth, and we're going to do the same washes and the same dry brush. Same with this cement, by the way, too. So I'm starting with Uniform Grey. This is going to be part of the street, essentially. Just be careful on that edge. But again, same wash, same dry brush. We'll get to that in a bit. You will notice that Dogmeat is off of the base. Dogmeat had a bit of his post, or her post, sticking out. And so I needed to trim that off. So I had to cut her off anyway. She's only on two little posts on the base, so it was very easy to cut off. And then I get to paint the base a little bit easier and her underside easier as well. So it's kind of a win-win. It's not too bad. Next up is Seraphim Sepia. Again, this is going to be the same wash we did on the Deathclaw on the Dogmeat's base right here. Alright, well, we're going to follow that up with some Nuln oil on all the Uniform Grey we painted here. It's okay if they kind of mix the wash there at the corner there. It doesn't bother anything. It's not even going to be noticeable. It's not like they're super different anyway. It should just be kind of a dark crease there regardless. Next up we have Flat Earth out again, but I'm not just bringing it back to the base color. Instead, if you notice, I'm actually putting little dashes everywhere. I'm considering this to be kind of like a refuse pile, like a garbage heap that you see all the time in like Fallout 4 on the sides of the roads where there's just like rubble and garbage and whatnot. So I'm doing the same here. I'm going to add a few more colors later on. Administratum Grey is going to be the dry brush we're going to do here. It's going to be fairly liberal in that I'm going to make sure I cover everything. I'm just trying to make those cracks and stuff show up a bit more with this and bring the color out a little bit more and highlight that texture that's on all of the road. Actually, it's a fantastic sculpt. I'm really happy with it, and it shows up really well with this. Next, I have Parasite Brown just for the plank of wood here. I love Parasite Brown as a wood color. I think it's a good base color that can then be washed with a highlighter or highlighted up. And it's just, yeah, just paint it. It's easy. The mold here is super nice and crisp. For the bricks, we have two bricks here. I'm doing burnt red. I'm choosing not to have any of the other pieces be like crumbled brick. I'm going to paint that as rock. It does add a bit more visual diversity, I feel, to this kind of pile here. Next we have Strong Tone, and this is for the plank. Again, just place it on there. You're going to get all that texture is going to pop out, and it's going to look really good. Don't have too much on your brush. You don't want it to super pool and go anywhere. To highlight that brick, we have Dragon Red. Now, if you wanted to give this some texture, because the bricks are super smooth, you can stipple this. So just on the, just little tiny light dots, don't press hard, and you could add some. Though you'd probably want to go pure red or something much brighter to really show up. For the underside of the bottle caps, these are just metal. I'm just doing plate mail metal. There's two here. There's one in the refuse pile, which you can see here, and then the other one was the one I painted at first on the actual road. Next we have Chocolate Brown. So I could have painted this Nuka-Cola bottle empty or full. Now, empty would be much harder because then I'd have to paint it to look like empty clear glass, which would be no fun. And I am average after all, so I'm going to paint it all brown. Now, technically, unless it's filled to the brim, it's going to show some glass here. I'm omitting that. I think it looks fine. You don't really need to sell it too much more than a nice highlight, which we'll get to soon. Now, the rocks, again, the Deathclaw had the cement, they had the rocks. It had the dirt, so it was really nice. So I'm going to do it all the same way here, just so it's uniform and it's consistent. So base coat all these rocks, which are all the other pieces that I chose not to, make brick or anything like that in this Mechanicus Standard Gray. Alright, following up with that, I have Baneblade Brown. This is going to be the highlight of the bottle. It is a pretty significant highlight. It's supposed to be, if this is glass, it's going to reflect light a lot, and so I want to make sure I show that. For the two bottle caps, the one upturned here, and then the one on the Nuka-Cola itself, pure red. Now we have Strong Tone out again, and this is for the rocks. I didn't plan this super good. If not, I would have done the Strong Tone at the same time. However, learn from my mistakes, and just, hey, paint those rocks Mechanic Standard Gray right after the plank, and then strong tone them both. To highlight, I'm doing Ash Gray, and this is a pretty heavy highlight. I want it to really differentiate itself from the cement underneath, and so a heavier highlight I think will do that. It also makes them seem a little bit more smooth rock versus the texture of the cement. I think it sells it okay. Now for the refuse pile, I'm just trying to put junk in here, and so what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 different colors, well 3 with a flat earth. So this is light green blue, and I'm just making little dashes, just little tiny dashes, not very large, every which way, kind of happenstance and random, and then I'm adding the Deathclaw green. I'm doing the exact same thing here, and that'll just add a little bit of visual diversity here that'll just make it seem like a mixture of stuff. Which I'm quite happy with how it looks at the end. You could add more colors or less colors or whatever. You could add leaves if you want, though the leaves I typically use I think are too big of a scale for this. I think it would have been too big a leaves, so that wouldn't have worked out. Now we have Deathclaw Brown. This is going to be the base coat for all of Dogmeat. If you notice, I am making a slight mistake here in that I painted on the base, and now I'm painting on the bottom of her feet here so that when I glue it on like I have now, it is on 3 feet now instead of 2, but it is paint to paint, which is not as secure. That being said, I've picked it up with, picked her up with the base attached and shaken it. She's staying put. I'm not too concerned. However, ideally you would not paint where it connects, so it's plastic to plastic. Anyway, base coat here, Dogmeat back on. If you didn't take Dogmeat off, that's fine too. You can paint it the same way, just be a little different angle. Now, my camera messed up. I apologize for that. I know it's kind of a bummer. I did chocolate brown for kind of the whole saddle and pattern, and then I'm adding a little bit of Abaddon Black into it to darken it up, and then covering about 80% of what I've already done with the pattern. I'm going to show you a bit more here so you can see the pattern I did do. I don't know what happened yet. I'm going to have to try and Google why I had it. I had the file, but it was 0 kilobytes. Like it made it, but it didn't record it. I'm not sure why. It's very odd. This is a kink I have to work with the new camera, I suppose. I also apologize a little bit for the camera angle. I'm still working on that as well with the new lighting I have. I know my face has been in there a couple times. I do apologize for that. I'm going to try to solve that. But anyway, you're just going to darken this with the Abaddon Black, and yeah, the saddle and the pattern adds a lot. Next, for the teeth, we're doing Ivory. Be very careful here. There are teeth. They are molded here, even on the plastic version that I have, so just be careful. And then we're going to do buff for the, I'm going to say highlight for the Deathclaw Brown, but it's really not a highlight. It is, but it is. I'm using it as a highlight, but I'm also painting in essentially the undercoat. So if you've had a German Shepherd and you like move the hair the opposite way, where you see the under hair, the softer hair, it is this kind of lighter color. So really, they have 3 different colors. They have this buff, and then the Deathclaw Brown, and then the chocolate brown, and then this kind of Abaddon Black mixed in there. So there is kind of a range of coloration here, but I'm using it for both highlight and then just kind of adding the other color hair. Next is dry rust. This is the Vallejo dry rust. If you have the army painter, it will be a red dry rust. Really, it is just a tiny bit of grit texture and some really watered down brown paint. I'm adding this to the metal because this is Fallout and nothing should be new, kind of like the tire I did in the Deathclaw video. And that's it. We are almost done. Necromancer's Cloak for the rim. I prefer a non-black base instead of dark gray. I think it still blends in quite well and it separates the miniature from the board, the actual tile underneath, but it's not stark and black. And this is it. This is Dogmeat, the final painting as it were. I hope you guys like it. I really enjoyed it. It's a very quick paint. And by all means, paint this miniature first if you get the box. He's like right there in the tutorial, so you're gonna have him right off the bat anyway and be using him, and you paint him up really quick and then it's really nice afterwards. If you did like the video, be sure to like the video in YouTube. It does help the algorithm and all that kind of computer jazz stuff. Let me know in the comments below what you want painted next for Fallout, or perhaps another board game. You guys know what I have and what I don't have, and if you think this would be helpful for another painter that has this game, by all means share it with them, and subscribe to see many more Kickstarter videos and miniature painting videos. But be sure to hit that bell icon, because otherwise YouTube thinks you're just subscribing for no other reason and won't actually show you the videos that I post. Alright guys, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.